JoAnne, is this the charisma that you guys have been seeing in practice over the past year and kind of, what you guys have been seeing since she got to campus?
Yep, definitely. She can shoot the thing, so that's exactly what she showed. Yeah, definitely. We've been saying this since last year that she can shoot it, and she showed it today.
And Karisma, what did a day like today kind of mean for you after having to sit out last year? And you had played this year, but this is definitely your best performance since you got to Texas. What did today kind of mean for you?
Definitely a confidence booster. Having to sit out last year definitely hurt me a little bit, messed with my mental a little bit. So I think today was good to see a little bit of the work that I put in last year and obviously this year kind of paying off in a game.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Karisma, I think you only had 18 points coming into the game. You had 15 in the first half. We hear coaches talk so much about defense leading to offense. How much did your defense and the 4 steals really translate for you to getting you into that flow today?
I think it translated a lot, but I have my teammates to thank for that. A lot of the steals that I had were because of them pressuring the ball and me just being in the right place at the right time, as well as my teammates finding me in open spots. So I think it was a collection of both, but I definitely give all the props to my teammates.
Kirk, you're up.
JoAnne, seemed like y'all were in the locker room forever. Was Coach Schaefer not happy with y'all's performance today?
We have expectations that we have to meet every game. So if we don't meet them, then it's not necessarily angry. It's just we got to do what we got to do to be great. So in some areas we didn't meet our expectations. So yeah.
So what were they primarily? Was he mostly unhappy with the second half that maybe you guys kind of relaxed a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. We gave up a lot more points in the second half, and yeah, that was the biggest deal with that.
Go ahead, Carter.
At Karisma, a big part of the Texas A&M game was that the 3-point shot wasn't really there. Y'all shot really well today, had a record amount of 3-point attempts. Was that a strategy going into the game? Did y'all work on that leading up to this game in practice, or was that just kind of what the defense was giving you with the zone?
It wasn't necessarily a strategy. I think we all had made sure we've got in the gym practice shooting because we knew teams were going to zone us. We wanted to make sure we were still getting paint touches, so it wasn't necessarily our strategy, but with how far they were sagging off and trying to double onto Charlie, we had to take those open shots. So I think it was just within the flow of the game.
Go ahead, Danny.
Karisma, how do you think you contributed to this team last year? We'd see you in practice, running scout teams. So I'm sure that's part of it. But how did you help out this team last year when you weren't able to play?
I think, like you said, scout was one of the biggest things for me in making sure that I'm trying to help get my teammates better every day, have them be prepared for the opponent that we're about to play, as well as just being the biggest cheerleader and best teammate that I could be at that time, even if it was just telling my teammate next shot, you make the next one, it's okay. Just being as encouraging as I can be and making sure that I didn't get within myself or be selfish during a time where it could be easy to do that and feel like the whole world is against you because you're not playing basketball that year. So it was definitely my job, I would say, to make sure that I was just being a great teammate.
And you have a former teammate, now current teammate in Lauren, who's kind of in the same predicament that you were in last year. How have you been able to encourage her? What have you been kind of telling her throughout her, plight this offseason?
I think Lauren does a great job of making sure that she's doing the same thing that I was kind of doing last year. But at the same time, I think me as well as the rest of my teammates are always encouraging her. And when she's on scout team or even with us, I think when she does a good job or whatever the case may be, we're always kind of still pushing her, knowing that she could get better and also telling her, like, you're doing a great job. Like, she's definitely useful to our team and that we're appreciative of her despite her not being able to play this year.
Go ahead, Carter.
And JoAnne, y'all had your first case of adversity this past week against Texas A&M, but you guys really responded today. Can you talk about what your practices looked like this week, how y'all came together and responded today against Idaho?
Yeah, so we have to put it behind us. We can't dwell on the past. we lost, and we knew we had to come into practice and do what we had to do to face Idaho and be prepared. So that we moved on, and we have to get better at the things we weren't during Texas A&M, and that's what we have to do for the next game too. We have to get better at the things we weren't today for the next game as well.
One more, Danny.
Karisma, kind of going off that, how big was this win for you guys, kind of bouncing back from, that Texas A&M loss and, getting things back on track before Tennessee this weekend?
I think it's always good to have a bounce back game like that. After a loss specifically, you kind of have to make sure that you are able to collect yourselves. And like JoAnne said, you can't get caught up with a loss and turn that into 2, into 3, into 4. So I think it was a good win for us to make sure that we're all on the same page, confident, and then preparing for our next game versus Tennessee.
All right. Thanks, JoAnne and Karisma.
Thank you.